What's going on, everyone? So, the New Orleans Pelicans are clearly fans of the channel and are taking my advice and having a fire sale for their roster. Something I've talked about heavily with the Pelicans that I really do think that they need to hit the reset button, and I don't think anyone should really be untradeable on this roster. However, reports have came out that that's essentially what's happened here outside of three guys. So, this per Mark Stein as well as Jake Fisher. The New Orleans Pelicans are open to trading anyone on their roster except Herb Jones, Missy, and Trey Murphy. While naturally resistant to trade inquiries for their young gems, Jones, Missy, and Murphy, word is that the Pelicans are essentially open to trade pitches for pretty much anyone else on the roster apart from those three, amid a 5-21 start and more injury woes than the Philadelphia 76ers. So that means Zion. That means obviously Brandon Ingram, Dejounte Murray, which my Lakers need to pick up the phone and at least inquire and make a call about. But yeah, essentially their entire roster is available. I have talked heavily about this. If you are the Pelicans, you have to at least field offers. You don't have to trade any of these guys. If the right deals aren't there, fine, right? You're already the worst team in basketball and probably going to stay that way. It's probably not going to change. Either way, you're probably having Zion take the season off. Brandon Ingram, you're probably in no rush to bring back, right? Like, you're still losing games, right? Like, you're a disaster. Right, so if you're the Pelicans, you don't have this urgency or anything like, oh, we have to get off of these guys, but you have to at least field and listen. Zion Williamson, there are teams that don't care about winning. There are teams that will see the dollar signs from Zion and probably give you a decent return. You're not going to get some like insane, probably Mikal Bridges, Rudy Gobert level trade, but you'll probably get there's teams that'll probably give you more than what you should get for him, right? Just because there's going to be owners that are like, we can go get Zion, get him in our jersey. That's probably like $1 billion in just revenue because Zion is in, a Kings jersey or whatever, right? Like, it's just, there's teams that would be more than happy to pull that off. So I just think, and also look, Zion, this team on paper should be terrifying, right? And I understand there is probably this feeling of like, what does this look like healthy, right? Because you got Dejounte Murray, Herb Jones, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson. You just need to go get a center. If you can get even a serviceable, so you don't need some like crazy triple-double center. You just need some, serviceable center. Can you get like a Miles Turner in the offseason? Right, like that would be perfect, right? Defensively versatile, you got plenty of wings, depth, size, right? Like Zion, before he got injured last season, right? He did it against my Lakers. Finally looked like the guy that we all wanted him and have been waiting for him to be. The guy that's like, give me the basketball and get out of my way and be the best basketball player on the court. What he was doing before he got hurt, unfortunately, was special. He has all the talent, all the potential in the world to be a top 5 player, right? Like, and we've seen that guys, Jokic, Giannis, Steph, like some of these guys can be so good and so transcending that you just need, 2 or 3 like third level guys and you can win a championship, right? Like, again, Steph did it with Andrew Wiggins having like a all-star caliber run in the playoffs, and then Jordan Poole, and then Clay, who was not himself, right? Like, and then you saw Jokic do it with Jamal Murray, who in the Lakers series was Michael Jordan in his prime, but all the other series was, good, not great. Michael Porter Jr., again, good, not great. Right? Like, Aaron Gordon, serviceable, right? Like he's a Swiss Army knife guy. I really like Aaron Gordon a lot. I actually think arguably he's probably the most important piece next to Jokic, but he's not a guy that's like, oh, I can go get you 25-5 every night, right? Like, yeah, you gotta have his games, you can have his moments, but he's more of like the do the dirty work, give you some toughness type, athleticism, right? Defense, stuff like that. And then like, Milwaukee with, Giannis, and then you had Drew Holiday, which getting fantastic, but is he the second best player on a championship contender? Probably not. Third, right? Same thing with Chris Middleton. Is he but then you also had like Brook Lopez in it, right? Like you have the talent around. It's kind of what this felt like with the Pelicans. Like if Zion can be that guy, if Zion can finally get into that like, top 10, top 5 conversation with DeJounte Murray, Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, and their depth, go get a center, got Jose Alvarado, Troy Murphy, right? Like you have these guys. It's like this team could be in the conversation. We've seen this team be the 1 seed, 25, 30 games in before injuries in the Western Conference, right? And look very good. And look like a team that like, oh man, like, are they going to make some noise here, right? Like, and then, again, injuries just decimate this team, decimate the roster. It's just like, man, like, because you do. Like, there is this sense, like, you want to see what it looks like all together. But I just think if you're the Pelicans, like, no one's going to knock you for trying. I mentioned earlier, there are so many teams that are comfortable and fine with just, hey, if we get in the playoffs, that's a win. Play-in team, it's a win. Right? As long as there's butts in the seats and we're making money, that's a win. Right? And the Pelicans, the fact that they kept trying and kept pushing, okay, let's go get Dejounte, let's go do this, let's get CJ, right? Now it's like, unfortunately, if you can turn CJ into anything, right, Ingram into anything, Zion, again, I would look to find the right move. You don't have to trade him. You don't have to get off of him. You don't have to get off of any of these guys. You could just let Brandon Ingram walk. It's not the end of the world for you. And, like, just keep Dejounte and stuff, right? Like, Pelicans are in a position to where their pick is going to be fine. Right, like you're not bringing back Zion, you're not bringing back Ingram, you're not bringing back any of these guys, right? Like you're staying the course, you can keep losing games, right? Like if they were like winning a bunch of games and like climbing the ranks, it's like we should probably sell the farm, right? Like that's different than like what's happening right now, where the team's just they're bad, right? They're not winning games, they're awful, and it's just like okay, we're not in a rush to sell any of these guys. So we want to be patient and find the right moves, find the right trades, find the right pieces, right? If you can do that, then great, right? So I just think if you're the Pelicans, you're bare minimum answering phone calls. You're bare minimum fielding those offers. You're having those conversations, right? But if you're the Pelicans, you can also stay firm on your price, right? You don't have to settle. You can, maybe like an Ingram, right? A CJ, like what are you really going to get for him? Plus, if you can just kind of get off his money, that would be great, right? Like there's a couple guys that you could argue, but like Zion, and DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray in particular, because you got to think, traded Dyson Daniels, who he's looked great for Atlanta. I mean, he's been everything Atlanta's needed and then some. I mean, the guy's been A1 for them. And 2 firsts? So you got to at least, if you're the Pelicans, get back a similar package, right? So you're looking at probably 2 firsts and, quality rotation guy. Young, ideally. Can you get a nice young piece that can kind of be a piece for now and the future? Outside of that, it's like, I just, if you're the Pelicans, like, you're fine, run it back. Right? Let Brandon Ingram walk. Trade him for a bag of chips, whatever you got to do. Right? You can't take a bad trade. Can't take on bad salary. You don't want to take on a bunch of salary that you're like, well, now we're in trouble. But unless you are full rebuilding, and you can get like first and stuff in the deal. But like, if you can turn anything, Brandon Ingram, into anything, worst case, let him walk. Let it drop off the books. And then just go with like DeJounte, Herb, Murphy, Zion, and then go get a center. Like I said, can you get a Miles Turner or something? See how it goes, right? Like that's kind of where I'd be at with them. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think like, yes, finally having the fire sale about time? This is something that they needed to do. Do you think like, no, like stay the course, run it back next season. Let's see what they can do. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.